Good afternoon. Welcome to OptionsTender. It's Wednesday, March 5th, 2025. We're looking for a rally. I think we had the low in. It was possible that, and still is, I guess, that a B wave could stretch out a new low here. And I'll show you what I'm talking about later on in the video. The main thing to look for is a bounce. We're looking for a rally, a bounce, and to fail. That's called a dead cat bounce. And to go to lower prices into FOMC. All right, so this bounce shouldn't last very long, couple to few days, perhaps into the employment situation. And don't forget that catalyst is before the bell. Also, that those catalysts like that can accelerate price to the upside and then midday fail hard. So always keep every option that you can in your mind, no pun intended. And we're going to go through a lot of things on the daily time frame, just so you can get a gist of what's going on there. Otherwise, not a whole bunch has happened since yesterday. Possible inside day today. I am rambling on. We're doing this video about noon Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get these videos intraday, consider becoming a YouTube member for 99 cents a month. Somebody had asked, hey, why don't you do these updates after the bell? You know, I miss these setups. Well, you can get these intraday as soon as I get done making them. And it's usually anywhere from 12 to 2 o'clock, and most of the action has happened. I know that towards the end of the day, price action happens too, but that's when I'll do an update for you members as well if something significant happens that changes things. Okay, so yeah, take that into consideration. We have ES on the daily time frame. We have this bearish rising wedge back tested. If you have the contract roll, you'll see higher highs there, but we'll use this one. We're making a low here, and that coincides with these lows at about 5,800. That's what we're holding on to right now. That's where we're kind of eyeing this bounce. We also have this megaphone price action, the bottom touched yesterday. And so let's kind of just brush up on some things. We have this clear Elliot wave. We're rejecting multiple times fake breaks on this 200% extension from the 2021 into 2022 correction. All right, now I think this is the top. I know that it doesn't look like the top with this contract, but this did make a new high after everything rolled. And we're looking for the prices are correct, you guys. So don't worry about that. All right, we have the 50% retracement is likely. I'm not sure that price is going to go any higher than that, but it would be our range from 5,950 to 6,000. Okay, anywhere in there, we'll be looking for a reversal back to the downside. Now, if this thing wants to continue to go higher to 60.75, that can happen and still be a valid 1-2 setup. That's what we're looking for. Wave 1 down, 2 back. It's just the bull case starts to strengthen above 6,000, and a lot of people would argue that it would be above 60.75. I know Slim, he always bases everything off of the 786, but as soon as you get over the 62% retracement, you could start to kind of get bullish. I know it sounds late in the game, but if it holds on to 6,000, then you can start at least scalping to the upside and looking for some sort of dip. So I'm not. Well, let's see what happens at 6,000. SPX. We did get a DMARC buy signal, an exhaustion to the selling. So we're getting a buy signal so far. Again, we're an inside day. This is a long range candle here. So not sure we'll break out from this range. And keep in mind that employment situation is a big number to look at. So you can't leave out the fact that this might be and double inside day. We have an inside day so far, and even another one going into employment situations. So, and maybe that's the rally that we get off of that. So just keep that in mind. If price action just gets so boring, then just make sure your options don't decay too much before you either roll them or, just keep that in mind. Okay, so the daily, here's our perspective. You have the bearish rising wedge, broke down from it, didn't quite reach our targets yet. I don't think those are going to happen in this straight line here. Maybe this is a bear flag and it breaks down here. I will keep my hedges on short term, but I do think this is going to hold with the kind of readings that we're getting in the indicators here. And this is just a first wave. And by the way, this is the 200 moving average that we're at right now in the SPX. And then you have this, somebody commented, they only see the positive divergence on the 4 hour. Well, you have this slight one on the RSI starting to build there. And the reason why I point this one out, we should probably get a bounce at least to the 50 line on the RSI on the daily time frame, and we'll start forming more divergences. I want to see some waves here, not necessarily divergences, until we get down to our lower targets after a nice big correction, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to the downside. And then you should really start getting some positive divergences in the MACD and the RSI. So I'm not trying to say that this is the low of and we make new highs. I'm just talking about just a near-term low where we get a dead cat bounce, where we get a rip your face off rally, and then we go lower from that point. And now that we really didn't test these lows here, I imagine, and we'll be careful when we get to this level because it's still a great breakout level, I imagine we should slice through it, maybe get a reaction and then slice through it and go to, because we'll be in wave 3 at that point. All right. Let's see here, anything else on here I want to show? No, Microsoft. Not trading Microsoft right now. It just didn't look great to me. Let's go to SPY. By the way, those are the confluence here that you see the rejection off of these trend lines. It's a 2008 trend line. That's a 1929 trend line. Rejection off there. If you're new to this video, then those are super key historic trend lines that we broke down from. And that's why we've been so steadfast on being bearish on this market unless price gets above those and holds on above those. SPY. You can look at those in other videos if you're interested. I show those just about every single video. So you can pick any one of them randomly. Here's just another look with SPY, and then so we're getting a green candle so far, picking up some momentum here. Again, I don't know if we're going to break out from this range, but we'll see. So we'll put on this board, and assuming that this is the top, we have an initial wave 1 down. We're trying to build some momentum to the upside. And what we're looking to do is come into some of these retracements from the top to bottom. We have the 382. That would be bare minimum. No pun intended again. That would be bare minimum where we get a rejection from. I don't think that's the case. It's very typical for a wave 2 to be deep, and the 62% retracement would be the most likely situation. Now, 592 is where a majority of my positions will be taken off. I'll leave some runners, things that probably will stretch past when the market starts getting heavy. Usually it's something like Tesla that will just continue to move up and grind while the other big names are starting to pause. So the 592, 593 zone, that's the 50%. That's where I'll take off my profit, and then we'll leave some runners up to 597 while adding in our short positions. Okay. QQQ. on the cues, here's a trend line that we drew from a few lows here. It's kind of, it's giving us some rejection. Not sure how good this channel will hold here, but if price gets back above there, it needs to in order to continue a rally. But I'd like to see it get back above this trend line here, and that would be a first start of maybe a fake break or so. And I'm not sure that this is the perfect channel that's supposed to hold any new highs or anything like that. It would have been nice to get the bounce off of the trend line before breaking down from it. But we don't always get what we want. You had a fake break from this megaphone pattern, breakout, fake break, and perhaps we'll look into this box, but center of this zone here, I'd imagine it'd be around 520 or so. And so it'd be very typical for us to see price action to retrace back up into there and then break down from it. So with our retracement tool, if this is a wave 1 down, 5-wave impulse, we're looking for wave 2 to come into this 50%. That's 514, and then 520 makes a lot of sense. That's the mid-range of that entire box that we drew in a long time ago. All right, so you want to take some profit going into 514, make sure that your portfolio is protected. And by the way, somebody asked me, how do you trade? I have these trade alerts and things. I just understand that I trade a portfolio of options. So I want that portfolio to move up and down. Well, obviously up in profit, but I have a basket of options that I use. So if I'm rallying right now, so I have some put protection in near term, and now into Friday and next week, even Tesla for the 21st, I have calls. All right, and those calls are closer near the money, while puts I would put out of the money. Okay, that's style trading. It has to do with all the Greeks and stuff like that, which I have videos for if you're interested. But again, I trade a basket. I don't have these individual trades that I just do at one time. Okay, that may be different than what you're used to, but that's my style. And you can use any one of those trades. I don't just pick them randomly. They're all trade setups, so you can take any one of those trades and use that according to your trading plan. So we have SMH. Dropped out of the megaphone here, and if this is to get any sort of bounce here, you got to get back into the megaphone. We'll cut the first hurdle will be 230, and that's the same kind of. He said, well, you should reject off of this, right? Well, we did once already. It's the same kind of thing when you have a zone. This one expanded, but we want to see it get back to somewhat of the middle of the zone there into some chop, which to me looks about 245. And with this happening, I'm just not sure what this is yet. It looks to me like this is maybe a 1-2 setup. That's the only thing I can really get out of it. Otherwise, it's a 1-2, and then we're looking for a 1-2 setup and lower. That would be the only bearish scenario that I can count out right now without us getting maybe a meager high here and then breaking down to a new low for the chips and then getting a significant bounce. That would tell me that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leading diagonal, and we could work with that. But it's this, I don't have quite a grasp, and a lot of times Elliott wave, it's speculation, and it gives us structure to work off of and trade off of, but I don't have a direct trade off of that other than this is an impulse wave, and I think this wave is done, and we retrace at minimum that wave. So if you do something in here, then you had this retracement come up to the 62. Now you can do the full, you can overlap them, you can do the full top to bottom of that choppiness and say that's a 1-2, 1-2. Then we have the 250 there, and that's right in the center of that zone. And then I can duplicate this, and you can put a second amount of retracements for just this move here. So you have an overlap at 250 at the confluence there. And then I know I could probably put the 50%. And the overlap here at 62 and 50% there. So this would be probably the zone if you're long semiconductors. Probably take off most of your trades by 240, 243, 244. All right, let's go to IWM. IWM looks very similar to SMH, where there's really only 3 waves. So maybe we're just looking for some sort of bounce and then a 5th wave before a larger move. Okay, so I think this is or it's that or it's bullish. That's the only 2 options that we really have there. But it does look or appear that this is a 1, 2, 3, you have 4, 5 in here. Other than that, maybe it's setting up a 1, 2, 1, 2. This overall picture for IWM is super bearish, though. We have the B wave. We have the initial wave down for an A. We had that in 2021 into 22, where we had an all-time high up there. We made a B wave up here. And now we're looking for a C wave to break new lows and to go much lower. So it wouldn't be unheard of for SMH and IWM to be a 1, 2, and then correct into 1, 2, and really start to fall at that point. DIA. And the Dow is just kind of doing its thing here. You can look at it a couple different ways. Like you have a bull flag here. That actually broke down. Never mind. And really what we could get out of this entire move looks like an equilibrium. So with this bounce, we'll probably make it up to somewhere near the middle or so. Maybe this whole thing, if you're bullish, is an A, B, C, D, E, and you look for continuation. That'd be a triangle. But my guess is that we get a bounce with everything else and then a break. The VIX kind of holding on to that range right there, rejecting off it a couple times. Didn't make a new high here. Definitely attempted. To me, it'd be a beautiful thing to come all the way down to the 19. Hold this. It'd be considered a back test again of the breakout and then just fly from there. But 23 is going to be just so important in this next phase of things. Okay, that's the top of the box that we talk about with the daily or with the weekly time frame. We have that weekly box that's drawn. So that's the top of the range there. You see some wicks. If you get the body of everything, it's about 2250. And then all the wicks seem to touch that area. But so you can see it's very volatile, but you have that range 2250, 23 or so. That's probably the real breakout point. You even have the bodies here that all wick above 23, even 2350 might be your actual breakout point. All right. That is, but in the meantime, looks like we're getting a possible reversal candle here, and we should start to see some moves to the downside. In the near term, we have negative divergence here in the RSI from the VIX, even on the slow stoke there. Okay, you guys, thanks for joining us here. Just wanted to make a quick video. Anything else? So we might get the relief simply off of this bounce here from TNX. It's the 10-year rate. We look at this every so often. We had that bearish rising wedge break down, back test, and broke down hard, and that's what sent price to the downside. This is gonna give us a recession here, and with a simple bounce, that's probably maybe a close of the gap here. it's probably going to give us that relief rally that we're looking for. So, all right, you guys, a lot of green here since we started the video. It looks like we're starting our rally already. And the leaders were Meta's taking over. Microsoft was our first. Bitcoin, all of it. MJ's moving. So since we're on here, MJ, been looking for this to start moving. We had a setup here, but actually broke down. So we might get a fake break. If we can get above this level that we're at right now, we can get a fake pattern and we can continue our ascent, maybe, make some positive structure here, getting a higher low and starting to move from there. So bought some more yesterday. May consider buying some more today. I think this is generational buy, and we'll do a top-down analysis maybe this weekend or so if you guys comment and let me know if you want to see that. All right, there we go. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.